Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about lesson 1.5, angle pairs. And we're going to talk about four special angle pairs today. Linear pairs of angles, vertical angles, complementary angles, and supplementary angles. Now, those last two you probably heard of. You probably heard of complementary and supplementary. So let's go over those first. Let's start with complementary. So complementary angles are two angles. Let me zoom in on that a little bit for you. With a sum of 90 degrees. Two angles with a sum of 90 degrees. Only two. They can be adjacent, which is just a word that we use in geometry to show that they are side by side. These two angles that are drawn for you in the foldable are considered adjacent because they share this ray for a side. The ray angle that is 15 degrees has this ray as a side, and the angle that is marked X degrees has that ray for a side. Or they can be what is called non-adjacent, which just basically means you have one angle here that you say you know is 50 degrees, and you have another angle drawn separately that you know is 40 degrees. Because 50 plus 40 is 90, these angles would be considered complementary to one another. Let's go ahead and see what kind of examples we would see. Angle LMN and angle PQR are complementary. So notice I'm seeing the vocabulary word. When I see that vocabulary word, I need to think in my head, they add to 90 degrees. So notice I'm kind of setting up myself a little problem right here. This angle plus this angle is going to equal 90 degrees. Okay. Find the measure of the angles if LMN is 4x minus 2 and the measure of angle PQR is 9x plus 1. I'm just going to remind myself of what the problem is asking me to by using my highlighter. So I just highlighted that they want me to find the measures of the angles. All right, so from the definition of the word complementary, I know that one angle plus the other angle needs to equal to 90 degrees. So here I am setting up my equation. I have my equal, I have my space on either side of, I have my plus, I have my space on either side of it, and then I have my equals to 90. That is my setup. What am I going to put in here? Well, I'm going to put 4x minus 2 because that's what they said one of the angles was, LMN. And then what am I going to put in this place? Well, I'm going to put 9x plus 1 because that's what they said angle PQR measured. Now I'm just going to go ahead and solve my equation. All right, I have two things on this side, so I need to combine like terms. X goes with x, that would give me 13x. And the constant of -2 goes with the constant of +1. -2 plus 1 is -1 equals 90. Now I have my two-step equation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just solve. So I'm over here on my side where the variable is x. I'm going to get rid of this -1 first. Because they're on opposite sides and the line is in between, I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 to the other side. I just did my quick check with my fingers. Equals 90 plus 1, 91. Remember, your multiplication is hiding in there, so you're going to divide by 13, divide by 13. X equals 7. There we go. But remember, I highlighted that they wanted me to go back and plug it in. So the measure of angle LMN, I'm going to do the substitution up above. 4 times 7 minus 2. 4 times 7, 28, minus 2, 26 degrees. Now remember, you don't have to put the degrees into Schoology, okay? So if I ask this question on Schoology, you would just put 26. But they also wanted the other one, so let me leave a little bit of space. PQR equals That one's 9 times 7 plus 1. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 1, 64. Now some of you might be thinking, but Miss, I didn't have to plug it in. No, you did not. Because you know that these two angles are supplementary. To get this second angle, you could have taken the 26 that you got for the first one and subtracted it from 90. That is 64 as well. So that's another way that you could have found PQR. But you can always just substitute. Okay? All right, let's talk about supplementary angles. Complementary add to 90. Supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is 180 degrees. 180 degrees. They can be adjacent, and I went ahead and drew this for you because they did not show you what adjacent meant here. They showed you on complementary in this foldable. Notice two supplementary angles, when they are adjacent, they are going to create a straight line. They're going to create a straight line. This is the ray that connects them and makes them adjacent. So this is the ray that they share, but angle 1 plus angle 2, because they create this straight line at the bottom between that creates 1 and 2 underneath them, the numbers 1 and 2, I know it's 180 degrees. Or it can be non-adjacent. That just simply means it looks something like this picture here. You have an angle and you have an angle, and notice they're telling you here in the foldable that they are supplementary. So we can find angle X by subtracting this from 180. That would give us 60. Okay, let's go ahead and do some algebra though. Okay, the measure of the supplementary angles of an angle is 36 degrees less than the measure of the angle. Ooh, okay. Well, supplement, there I see it. So I need to be thinking one angle plus another angle equals 180 degrees. Not that each one of them is 180. This is a common misconception that we have with supplementary. We also have it with complementary as well. Together, when I add them, they equal 180. Not each one of them, okay? Not each one of them. Complementary, remember, means 90. You cannot say 90 plus 90 is 90. That doesn't make any sense. 90 plus 90 is 180. Now that does not mean that every angle that is supplementary is 90 plus 90. You just saw that they had 120 plus 60. Okay, I digress. All right, let me come down here and start my equation. So I know I have something plus something equals 180. All right. And then it said something about the measurement of the supplement of an angle is 30 degrees more than the measure of the angle. All right, so what do I call something I don't know? X. So the first angle, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it X. The second angle, I need to show that it's 36 degrees more than this one. So here's this one, here's 36 degrees more. Okay, now this is probably the toughest problem that you would ever get. You're probably going to see something more like the complementary one, where I tell you that the first angle is X and I tell you that the second angle is X plus 36. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms, which is my X plus my X, which is 2X plus 36 equals 180. Now I have my two-step equation. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 36, because remember, they're on opposite sides. The line is in between my fingers. That's always a quick check to see if your like terms, if you can combine them, or if you need to do the opposite sign. That 180 minus 36, oh no, wait, I made a mistake, is less than 36 degrees less than. This should have been a minus. Ooh, no. Oh, I made a mistake. That should be a minus. That should be a minus. This should be a plus. This should be a plus. That's how we got 216. Oh, good thing I caught it now and I used my pencil. I have my division right here, so I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2. I'm going to put it over here. X equals 108. But, and I didn't highlight this, they are asking me to find the measures of the angles. Since they didn't tell me the names for the angles, I'm just going to go ahead and call them angle 1 and angle 2. Well, angle 1 is just x. So there's one of them. Angle 2 is going to be x minus 36. 72 degrees. There they are. A cute little way to remember the difference between supplementary and complementary. Just a cute little way to remember the difference between supplementary and complementary. Look at the letter P. The letter P reminds me of the number 90. The letter P kind of looks like I took the number 9, sorry, not 90, 9. It looks like I took the number 9 and I flipped it. Complementary has 1 9, 90. Supplementary has 2 9s, 90 plus 90, 180. Just a cute little trick to help you remember which one's 90 and which one's 180. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our linear pair. Let's go ahead and go, our linear pair of angles. Notice we just saw this picture drawn inside the supplementary angles. That's because two adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays create a linear pair. Linear pairs are supplementary. Linear pairs are supplementary. That means that they add up and equal 180 degrees. So we're really not doing anything new here, but what we are doing is we have to recognize this picture. We have to recognize that when I have an angle like this 112 and it has one right next to it, they're always going to be right next to each other. They have to share. Notice the yellow and the pink share right there. This angle X next to it. Whenever they are next to each other and they create a straight line, I know that they are a linear pair. And then linear pair says that I am supplementary. Okay, so the example, 2 angles form a linear pair. So what they want you to see is this word right here. And what you need to start thinking is, I know that I'm going to add these 2 angles together and they're going to equal 180 degrees. Linear pair, the 2 angles add together equal 180 degrees. The measure of one angle is 3 times the measure of the other. Find the measure of each angle. So let's go ahead and set that up. Leave your space, angle 1, angle 2 equals 180 degrees. I'm setting up my equation, so I'm dropping my degree symbol. Let me move that up. Okay, they didn't tell me anything about the angles, so I'm going to call angle 1 X again. But they said the other one was 3 times. I'm not going to mess this up this time. 3 times would be 3x. Draw your line. Combine your like terms. Notice my fingers are on the same side. 1x plus 3x, 4x equals 180. All I've got to do is get rid of this multiplication by dividing by 4. X equals 45. What did they ask me to find? That's what I'm going to use my highlighter to come back. Find the measure of each angle. So I'm going to go back again and plug it in. The measure of angle 1 equals 45 degrees because the one angle was just x, right? There's the one angle right there. The measure of angle 2 is 3 times 45, 135 degrees. There are my 2 answers. Okay. All right, the last one, and this one, the vertical angles, they do not go with the complementary. So linear pair went with the supplementary because they're a special type of supplementary angle. They are the adjacent supplementary angles. And if you look at the foldable, this is what's so cool about the foldable, is that they do look the same. So what this foldable is telling me is this and this are the same, right? This and this are the same. The vertical does not look like this. Notice the vertical does not look like this. So this is a totally new type of angle that we're going to talk about. They are two angles. Vertical angles are two angles whose sides form two pairs of opposite rays, or a pair of non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. So notice if you look down at the picture, they are crisscrossed, like they look like a letter X. Vertical angles, which are here and here, are said to be congruent. That means that they're equal. Okay, congruent means they're equal. Here's the symbol for congruent. It's the equal sign with a wave above it. Okay, so notice, you would have, if I would have just put down the symbol, you guys would have told me what congruent means, because there's the equal sign that you're familiar with. So these two angles here are congruent. I can show you with just an arc mark. And then of course, this angle here is congruent to this angle here. Notice all of these angles share this common point. That's what makes vertical angles. They share a common point. There's 4 of them. This one and this one pair up always across from one another. This one and this one pair up always across from each other. The two side by side, take a look at this, they form a line. There's that orange line that we saw in the last part of the foldable, the linear pair. These two are supplementary, as are these two, and those two, and lastly, those two, right? It works for any of the two pairs of non-vertical angles. Okay, so here we go. Angle ABC and angle DBE are vertical angles. So here is my, here's my knowledge. We're gonna start using vocabulary. I don't have to tell you they're equal. I'm telling you because you know that by the definition of vertical angles. You know that they are congruent, which means you know that they are equal, okay? Find the measures of the angles if the measure of angle ABC is 5x minus 8 and the measure of angle DBE is 5x plus 10. Find the measure of the angles. Okay, so because I know that they are vertical, I know that I'm just going to go ahead and set them equal to each other. I don't even need a picture. I'm going to put 7x minus 8 on one side, and I'm going to put 5x plus 10 on the other side. I'm going to split my line down the middle, and I'm going to start to solve. All right, my x's, I'm going to take care of them first. They're on the opposite side. Notice the line is in between my fingers. So I'm going to take the smaller one and do the opposite side so that I can move it to the other side. That would give me 2x minus 8 equals 10. Now I have a two-step equation, so I'm going to come over here where x is, and I'm going to go ahead and take that minus 8, add it to the other side, because if I did my quick check, I could see that my line's between my fingers once again. 18 divide by 2, I need just a little bit of space from this part of the foldable, x equals 9. I'm going to go ahead and plug that back in. I think I need a little bit of space. Let me see if I can. I'll put one over here and one over there. The measure of angle ABC equals, well, it's going to be 7 times 9 minus 8. That would be 55 degrees. So there's one answer. Remember, the degrees don't have to go into Schoology. And the measure of angle DBE is going to be 5 times 9 plus 10. That's going to give me 55 degrees. I got the same answer. I should get the same answer because remember they told me that they were vertical angles, which means that they are equal. If I didn't get the same answer when I plugged in the 9, then I solved for x incorrectly. That's the beauty of the vertical angles. Okay? All right, so how can I tell the difference between these two? How can I tell the difference between these two? I'm going to see a line for linear pair. I'm going to see a line. I'm going to see one angle. And I'm going to see a second angle. They're going to share that piece in the middle. They're going to share that piece in the middle. How am I going to know that they're vertical? They're going to crisscross each other like an X. And there's going to be 4 points in here that share a point. This one is the same as this one, always across. This one is the same as this one. The two that are different, the 1 plus the 2, the 1 plus the 2 are going to make that straight line, so I have my linear pair again. I have 2 examples for us to look at, and then I'm done with the lesson. So let me go ahead and move up my page for example 1. I'm going to glue that on in just a minute. All right, in example 1, it says that ray CD, and then I see this symbol. To line ABD. This symbol here is the symbol for perpendicular. Perpendicular. What does perpendicular give me? Well, perpendicular gives me a 90-degree angle. So this is the way that I can talk about complementary for you. I can show you that they're perpendicular. Okay, this is one way that I can show you perpendicular. I can use the symbol, or I can write out the word. So here's my picture. Now I know I can come in here and I can add my 90 degrees because that's what perpendicular means. I'm going to add to it the measure of angle 1, 6x minus 3 degrees. And I'm going to add in my measure of angle 2, 7x minus 11 degrees. How am I going to set this up? Well, if they are 90, is this one 90? No. Is this one 90? No. Together they are 90. Remember, this is my complementary. So together they add to 90 degrees. Together they add to 90 degrees. So it doesn't matter which one you put in first. I'm going to put the 7x plus minus 11 because I see it first, and then 6x minus 3. Draw down my line and let's solve. Like terms. I'm just going to pair them up. Who goes with who? There's no line between my fingers, so I'm going to say 13x. There's no line between my fingers, so I'm going to say minus 14. They're on the same side. I combine and I do the operation that I see. Now I have my two-step equation, so I'm going to come here to this one. These two need to get put together, but the line is in between my fingers, so I'm going to put plus 14, plus 14. Bring down my 13x. 90 plus 14 is 104. My sneaky multiplication is there. Divide by 13, divide by 13. X equals 8. And that was it. That's all I asked you to do. Find X. That's all I asked you to do. Find X. All right. One last example. I know it's getting very long. But you guys have been doing great that have been watching the videos. All right, find the measure of angle EBC. Okay, my highlighter's gonna help me out. I need to find the measure of angle EBC. So I'm gonna find E, I'm gonna go to B, and I'm gonna go to C. I don't know the measure of this angle. There's nothing there. The only two things I see in my picture are here, but I'm seeing that vertical angle. I'm seeing that X. I'm seeing that shared point. This angle is the same as this angle. Well, that doesn't help me. But hey, this angle is the same as this angle. So I'm going to start by saying 3x plus 15 equals 2x plus 20. Yeah, I could change the sides. I could have put the 2x plus 20 first. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I'm going to take a look. They're balanced. I'm going to combine my two x's together. The line is between my fingers, so I'm going to move the smaller one by eliminating it. I'm going to move the smaller one by eliminating it. That's just 1x. Now remember, one with an x can be invisible. So I wrote it, but I didn't have to. It can be invisible. I'm going to take the 15 and move it over with the 20. My line is in between my fingers, so I must do the opposite because I want to move it. I don't need the 1. 5 is my answer for x, but they asked me for this angle. Wait a minute. I know that that angle plus this angle create the straight line ABC. Do you see it? That makes this angle EBC and this angle ABE a linear pair. So I'm going to plug back in here 2 times 5, 10, plus 20, 30. This angle here is 30 degrees. Well, so is that one. Okay, so is that one. But this angle plus this angle equals 180. So all I have to do is 180 minus 30, 150 degrees. So what is the measure of angle EBC? 150 degrees. See you guys next time.